Hello, my name is Colin and I will be preaching right now. Apologies if I sound like I'm dying. Yeah, my voice hasn't been having a nice week. So, we all know the story of Jonah, right? Jonah was told by God to go preach against Nineveh's evil. He ran the other way, ended up in the belly of a fish, got spat upon land, preached against Nineveh's evil, and got mad that they repented. That's the overall story. I wanted to focus on that last part. He was angry. And that got me thinking, was he right to be angry? Everyone deals with anger, okay? So this is going to help us all. I just want to point that out. And thinking about the story of Jonah's anger, it got me thinking about someone else's anger. Jesus. He was angry at the Pharisees and the people selling in the temple because of their overpriced stuff. If you can indulge me for a minute, please go to chapter 4, verse 4. Jonah. But the Lord replied, "Is it right for you to be angry?" Jonah had gone out and sat down at a place east of the city. There he made himself a shelter, sat in its shade, and waited to see what would happen to the city. Verse 9 says, "But God said to Jonah, 'Is it right for you to be angry at the plant?' 'It is,' he said. 'I'm so angry I wish I were dead.'" That seems a bit overkill, doesn't it? And then there's Jesus' anger. Matthew 21, verses 12 through 13. Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying there and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. "It is written," he said to them, "My house will be called a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." That got me thinking, were they right to be angry? So, that got me thinking of two questions. Why are we angry? And what do we do when we're angry? Now, why we should be angry is pretty easy. We should be angry for the right reason. What is that? Well, I think the right reason to be angry is when someone's doing something wrong or hurting someone else. Like, imagine your brother's getting beat up. Would you be mad at the person beating him up? Of course you would. You have a right to be angry. And thus, Jesus was right to be angry. His Father's house was being turned into a house of sin. I would be angry too. Was Jonah right to be angry? About God taking away the plant, sure, but not at Nineveh for repenting. He was in the wrong there. What did they do when they're angry? Jesus, he preached. He did what was right. Jonah, he peaced out. So, when we're angry, we should be angry for the right reasons, and we should do the right thing. This reminded me of a story I actually lived through. I had a Nintendo DS. Remember those things? Yeah. I loved it. It was basically one of my first tablets. And I can't remember why, but my sister was mad at me one day when I was 10, I think. And she threw my DS at my foot. I even remember which foot. It was the right foot. And it broke. Not my foot. No, not my foot. The DS broke. My foot did hurt, though. I was so mad at her. And I was rightly so. She broke my property. And I was wrong, however, to stay angry. And I can't remember what I did, but I should have just told her why I felt so angry and told my mom. but I stayed angry. And that got me thinking. Jonah stayed angry for at least 41 days. That's a good estimate of how long he was angry. Jesus calmed down. He calmed the freak down. And that got me thinking. About the conclusion. What can we learn from this? We can learn to A, control our anger. B, do what's right when we're angry, or calm down. And C, do what God asks us. And I want you to ask yourselves, was there ever a time when you were angry injustifiably? Or was there ever a time you were right to be angry, but you were wrong to stay angry? Now, Ephesians 4, verse 26 tells us, where is it? Here. In your anger, do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. That tells us two things. A, anger is not a sin. Everyone deals with it as an emotion God made. It's okay to be angry. But the book says, do not let the sun go down on your anger. Don't stay angry. And from that I believe anger isn't a sin. Staying in that anger is a sin. So what can we learn from that? Don't be angry. At least not for the wrong reasons. Do what's right. That is the end of my sermon.